stage 69 you get the final tyre and wheel and the hubcap and the sticker. Just build the wheel as you did for the other three wheels. For this stage you'll also need the engine again and the exhaust assembly, plus the oil that you saved and the air filter from stage 46. When you fitted the final tyre to the wheel, you need to make sure that you've got two pairs of wheels with the tread going in the same direction. So this is one pair. If you put the opposite sides together, the tread should go in the same direction. And again with the other pair, opposite sides together and the tread facing the same way. To fit the silencer to the engine assembly, you need to slot in the two exhaust bolts into the holes in the crankcase, one each side like this, and then on the other side fit the gasket to the two bolts. You can then line up the silencer with those two bolts and then slowly screw them into place. And that's how the silencer and the engine assembly should look when you've installed the two bolts and tighten these up properly. You may need to retighten these after the first run of the car. You can then refit the engine into the car chassis. Before fully tightening the 4 hex bolts, you need to do the spacing test again to make sure that the gears aren't too close together or too far apart. Next, take the 4 hubcaps and the 4 Lamborghini stickers and then just stick those into the centre of the hubcaps. And then do that for all 4 of them. Next, it's time to fit the wheels to the car. First of all, remove the flange nut from each of the wheel hubs and then fit the wheels in place. Make sure that you're facing the tread pattern forward and then refit the flange nut onto the wheel, and then that needs to be tightened up with a 5.5mm socket. When you have all 4 wheels tightened up, you can then fit the hubcaps onto each wheel and they just press onto the centre of each wheel like this. Next, take the air filter and fit a cable tie around the air filter housing and just tighten that up part way. Before you can fit the air filter, you need to press the throttle linkage onto the ball end of the throttle slide and that just push fits down. You can then fit the air filter to the carburetor. Just push it over the opening, press it all the way down and make sure it's sealed properly. And then just trim off the remaining tie wrap. You can then add some more oil to the air filter and then just pop that back into place. You next need to take the fuel hose and you need to chop this into 2 lengths. So the first length is going to go from the fuel tank cap to the exhaust, which is there, and then the next length will need to go from the fuel tank into the carburetor, which is there. So it's probably about 1/3 and 2/3 of the length you need. So then just chop that. And fit the longer hose from the fuel tank cap into the exhaust, and then take the shorter tube and fit that from the fuel tank to the carburetor. Once you have the four ends of the two fuel tubes securely in place, that completes stage 69.